what he said is, Jimmi Gathu's sell-by date.
Expiry.
Expiry date. Imefika.
And you believed it.
And I believed it. I believed it. So I sank deeper.
So for context, Jimmy had been having this internal war within him where he knew and he feared that his career was going to plunge very soon. So when this person said this, they were just putting a stamp on his worst fear. So he believed it. That brings me to the first point. If you lose the war in your mind, you have lost on ground. I say this, that faith and fear are sisters. They both require your cooperation for them to be fulfilled. So the same way faith requires you to internally agree with it for it to come to pass, fear also needs you to internally agree with it for it to come to pass. So faith seems like a dream. Fear, on the other hand, is so practical, it's so logical, it could happen anytime, it's never assured, it could be you could be next, right?
No, you can't take it no more. Give me money, woman.
As I was saying, what was I saying? Next point, the source of your confidence. Is your confidence built on something flimsy? A good example of a flimsy thing to build your confidence on, people's opinions. It's a quote in a certain cartoon. This person was being booed by the audience and he said, "Your boos mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer." Your boos mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer. That is so like, just pause and think about that. You are out here being shaken by the opinions of somebody who whatever that person reveres is laughable, but you want them to applaud you. You're clearly not their type. My mom does very mom-like nails, neon bright colors, things I'd never do, a certain shade of red that I'd never wear, and looks good on her, works for her, it's her taste, it's her thing. But my mom has a lot to say about my nails. I've seen what makes my mom cheer. Why do her boos mean something to me? Part of the reason why I am confident in who I am is because I know whose I am. You get? I am because he is. And if you know just how much Jesus is gassing me up in the pages of the Bible, you think your boos are gonna do anything to me? I am fragile, guys. Don't come after me. But you think your boos are gonna do anything to me? And thirdly, exercising your confidence. The first thing, ask. The first job I got, the lady, I've told this story before, the lady had told my mom, that time I was 17, but 17 turning 18. The lady had told my mom that she was willing to pay me 20,000 Kenya shillings. She asked me in the interview, how much do you want? And as a person who's fresh from high school, I was like, I totally deserve nothing. This woman wants to give me free money. How dare I ask for millions, that the millions of shillings that are 20,000 Kenya shillings, and ask for 10,000 Kenya shillings? That because I believe that's what I deserved. The woman did not sit down to lecture me on how much she was willing to me. She took the opportunity, ran with it, and paid me 10,000 Kenya shillings. Now, in this specific career, social media management, the first gig I got, they took advantage of my naivety. Not their fault. I blame myself because that's where I was in life. And like I said, the reason why you need to be bold enough to ask is because the world is not going to be kind and tell you, no, you deserve this thing, you deserve this thing. They will take advantage. People will get away with as much as you're willing to let them get away with. So it's not virtuous of you to be like, oh, but I don't know how to ask. But you need it, but you're entitled to it, but you don't know how to ask. So the first thing when it comes to exercising your confidence, be shameless and ask. I've noticed I usually have this caressing face that I put on when I want to show another human being that no, I'm not a threat to you, you do your thing. And mostly I do that when I am being served by a person who's being paid to serve me. For example, if it's a cashier or it's a waitress or a waiter, I'm like, I do this with me. His lips are dry. Yikes. I had a chick in high school who used to oil like this. Supposed to show you I'm nice, I'm not mean or entitled. One day I caught myself making that face and I'm like, but am I holding a gun? I've not been rude, have I been mean? Why do I feel the pressure to be? The second encounter, somebody I work with, I was giving them a magazine because they had asked me about something and I was just referring them to whatever was on the magazine. So anyway, I go to take this magazine to her, and right now another, like, one of her co-workers is with her, and the guy is like standing over her, and they're like deliberating on something. So I could have gone there and said, oh, excuse me, sorry, here you go, you know. But I did this move of, oh, sorry, excuse me, sorry, yeah, here you go, sorry, tell me if you need anything, okay, bye. And it was just this hunchback move of, I am invisible, I don't mean to disturb, but I'm not disturbing, I'm helping you, but I choose to take this position, you understand? So there are micro things that I'm very alert about. I'm very hyper aware, and when I sit back and look back at those things, I'm like, why did I make this face? Why did I walk like this? You get? And why do I feel the need to disarm myself? Like, I have pigtails, I am short. You're considering me a threat because of what? I am not a rude person. In conclusion, because I've been yapping forever, be shameless and unapologetic. And the last thing, confront your insecurities. Why do you feel less than? What is that one thing that you think can destroy you? Confront it head on. If it's something that can be addressed, address it. And if the source of your confidence is strong enough, it should be able to cover for that insecurity. I don't know whether this will fit in the video, but it does. That's amazing. This is the first scarf I'm making, and when you look here, there's this beautiful detail. It looks like, you know, this carafe. This was a mistake that I made when I'm making the scarf. This is what I intended for. So when you knit, there's one side that looks like this and the other side looks like this. And when I was making it, all of a sudden I'd noticed, why am I seeing bubbles on this side and bubbles should be on the other side? And I realized if I knit when this side is facing me, I am able to maintain this, you understand? But if I make the mistake and hold it like this, but I'm still doing the motions as if I'm holding this side, I'm gonna have this two bubbles, okay? So once I learned that, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave this and I'm gonna build the rest of the scarf just perfect. But then I consistently made such mistakes where I'd hold it like this, then I'd remember, oh, whatever, and then I'd have to undo this work, which is not easy, and try to correct that mistake. So this was like the third time I made that mistake, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave that there. It's gonna be a beautiful little detail, and we're gonna build on top of it. What am I telling you? I have made many mistakes. This is the first scarf I've ever knit in life, and every mistake I came to, I was tempted to pull the string and start again and not stop until I have something perfect. But the question is, if I do that and I do that 101 times, first of all, when will I ever finish this scarf? Secondly, what will be the testament to the fact that this is the first scarf I ever made in life if it's not laced with mistakes? Now, this mistake that I made here, I am gonna now intentionally repeat it as a design element when I come to the end of my scarf, because I realized how pretty it actually is, and it's a mistake. So in conclusion, you're just starting out on something. You've never done it before. It's not a byproduct of negligence or ignorance. Make that mistake, step over it, build on top of it. There's something that must testify that this is where I started, this is where I am. You think I'll be making such films? Like, if this is how my first scarf looks like, and if you have negative things to say about this, you're a hater. Like, that's how confident I am in the scarf. Like, come on, this is the first scarf I have. This is the first thing I've ever knit in life, and it looks like this. Granted, there are 101 mistakes, but it looks like this. Just saying.